never fiddle with a winning ad.
Working it. Okay.
Do not change a
Just
thing.
leave it. Welcome back to Pen and Prosper, a podcast where JT Lawrence is coaching me, Melissa Delport, to be a six-figure author. We are delighted to have Caroline back today to answer some more questions about Facebook advertising. I think our Facebook episodes get the most traction. People are so interested in the Facebook marketing. So we're so grateful to have you back. Before we dive in, we would like to thank our paid subscribers, as always, who really do keep us putting random content on the internet. Our editor extraordinaire, Elize van Heerden, who we could not survive without, and our new official sponsor, Vellum. JT, you can tell us more about Vellum.
I have a link for you guys to try out. If you've never tried Vellum before, we highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's the most amazing formatting software, and it'll save you heaps and heaps of money in the future. The link is tryvellum.com/pen and prosper, and we'll put that in the show notes. And basically, you can go and play around for as long as you like in Vellum for free, and you only pay when you want to export your document to upload to KDP or whichever platform you're uploading to.
Play before you pay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Caroline, welcome.
Hi.
So nice to have you back. Caroline and I have been in touch daily.
Daily, because she's my best friend.
I annoy the hell out of Caroline by sending her ROI graphs every single morning.
I call them graph porn.
Do you make those graphs, or does Caroline make the graph? Who makes the graphs?
I make them, and then I make her look at them.
Do you? I love that. Of course you do.
Yeah, and
I
occasionally
thought your
send her
husband
a-
was the graph guy. That's how I was convinced the graphs were coming from you. I should have known. I should have known better.
Oh, yeah. How are you guys anyway?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good. Had a good week because the person who's doing my Facebook ads is doing really well, and I'm seeing green ROIs everywhere.
Yeah, about that. I looked this morning and it's gone. No, it's been a roller coaster, isn't it?
It has been a roller coaster, but a good roller coaster that's still on its way up, I think.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, we haven't topped out yet, so that's really exciting. But
how the CPCs on those foreign language
bonkers, absolutely bonkers. But
2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents. It's
I mean,
crazy.
honestly, there was 1 cent ones knobbing about for about 24 hours, and I was kind of like thinking, oh,
Screenshot.
yeah.
Is this the foreign? Is this the foreign market?
It's the foreign.
I know the foreign markets are so much cheaper. And imagine someone actually knowing what they do with ads. It must be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, saying that, we've got a couple of star ads, and they are just phenomenal,
really well.
and there's so much variation even within the variations of those star ads. So it's been really interesting. And both me and JT are like, oh, have you seen this? And have you seen this? And honestly, and after a while, you're sort of sending all these messages, and then you just think, oh, great, I'm just going to phone her and
and get it done, like have a proper conversation.
Yeah.
So your overall spend, because JT was obviously spending $1,000 a day, is your overall spend much reduced now? Did you switch everything off?
I know what I'm spending, but I'm not.
So Caroline tells me when she ups the budget, and then I lower the budget on my existing ads.
Okay, so you're keeping your overall spend the same?
Yes.
I think it's
wow.
about $400 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
at the most, I'd say.
Yeah, but so you've got this, she dropped some of her old stuff and I added new stuff. I was concerned that obviously that would make everything tank until mine did that, but actually
it's been fine.
It's been absolutely fine. And if anything, we're getting about an additional 4,000 reads a day.
Oh, wow.
Since we've started.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Are we back on because we had a very long hiatus with having to get Meonic paid and reduce ad spend, and we're not going to be a dolphin this month. And are we back on 10 million page reads a month? Is that what we're getting back to?
Not this month, but next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things are starting to turn. It was a big ship that slowed down, and now we're just like getting it to go.
It takes a while.
on KDP? You're starting to see an uptick, or
Yeah, well, especially yesterday, on Thursdays I always turn off all my ads. So
yeah,
obviously I don't turn off Caroline's ads because that would be dumb. So my
Okay.
spend yesterday was very low compared to what it usually is, and my sales and reads were good. So that was a
Okay.
very good profit day for me. I'm not used to seeing that much in a day. So I think that's a definite good sign.
Wonderful.
And I mean, eventually all my ads will be turned off and Caroline's will be the
Yes.
ones running. And hopefully then my ROI will be a proper ROI.
Yes. Caroline, how many ads are you running at the moment?
oh, 1 million.
Not
1
as much as I
billion
usually run.
advert.
Yeah, so
Does it feel like a lot?
it is a lot. It is a lot. But I mean, there are ways of making it all sort of very sensible on Meta by
Okay.
just focusing on, because I call things very systematically stuff, I can isolate marketplaces and types of ad and all the rest of it. So
Okay.
when I'm in the zone of like looking at something, it's absolutely fine. But I think we started off with like 21
US ads.
visual ads for the US, and then ran that for a week and tuned that. And then those tunings, so it went down to about 14. And that 14 I then rolled out to the UK. And then from that, then looking at the US and looking at the high performers, I sort of hedged my bets and got it down to like 5. Those are the ones that I'm rolling out to the other marketplaces. So I've done Italy, France, Spain, Germany, UK, US. I can't do that, man.
It's a lot of
There are a lot.
ads. Let's
There are a
just
lot of
say
ads.
you're running a lot of ads. You said from the beginning that JT is fearless, so you knew what you were signing up for. Ads for days. You're like Oprah. You get an ad, and you get an ad.
But I mean, that's the amazing thing. Like, I'll just spin something by her and say, "Oh, I was thinking we could do this." She goes, "Oh yeah, try it." Whereas before it would be, like I'd be very aware of, not wanting to overly test initially. And it's been really interesting because I would worry that we would oversaturate using an image. You test an image so many different ways. People are going to see this, possibly the same variation, but actually it's not been the case. When we've tried things out, sometimes it's a better fix. So
It must be quite liberating for you to ad test with someone who has more of a, I wouldn't say an unlimited budget, but I mean, it's JT, so it kind of is, because she'll find the money somewhere.
I wish I had an unlimited budget. Oh my God.
Mark better watch himself. He's going to find himself sold on.
Yeah, but then it's quite nice because I am still very aware of client spend, and
Yes,
whether it's $40 or 400, it actually doesn't make much difference to me. It just means that what my test, rather than testing with $6, I'm testing with 4 or testing with less.
okay.
So
Yeah, you're still being cautious.
yeah, because it is so easy. It's so easy to let it just run away.
Yeah.
And sorry, my builders are making a lot of noise. Sorry about
Don't worry.
Yeah, so it's so easy to get things carried away, but also trying not to be too reactionary, because sometimes you need to give things just a little bit more time. And
Yes.
I mean, we saw this we've got one particular image which is just phenomenal. Not that I've made a phenomenal, I mean, its performance is phenomenal.
Yes, you have, Caroline. You are allowed to say,
Yes, you're allowed to say
I
that.
created a great image.
And Caroline, just so that you know, Delport sees my grok graphs every morning, so she knows what you're talking about. That one ad that has that green bar.
CBH something. CBH
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
CBHC.
Yeah, we love CBHC. But initially, after the first week of testing, so that image H, we try it with a creative strap and a review strap and an unambiguous strap. And initially, HR, which is that image and review, went off. And it was like, oh, this is the one. But then we gave it just a few more days before really getting vicious with what we're going to turn off. And all of a sudden, I don't know why, but HC caught the wind and just flew. out the block.
Okay.
I've heard authors say, like, I've just had this ad, it's just done so well. And I've never had that. Like, I've done so much
Really?
testing. I've never had an ad fly like that before. And
Yeah.
I can finally understand what those guys mean when they're like, you just need a few winners and you've
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, but the only way to get the winners is to, and it's been incredible when you see just the difference what the copy actually on the ad, the strap is.
I'm amazed by that.
Makes such difference. I mean, the unambiguous strap did nothing.
Nothing.
And, the CTRs were on the floor and all the rest of it. And then the creative strap just absolutely flew off. And actually, I must say, I would say most of the winning ads have been the creative straps. And I don't think people utilize that kind of, you are writers.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yes.
this is your time to shine. The people who make the images can, do wonders. But actually, if you just put a bit of
thought into that hook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
And
interesting.
I think playing around on TikTok is so valuable with that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
playing around with what does well, and because
Yeah.
TikTok's so easy to just throw something out and see it,
Yeah. I was watching what you were saying the other day. I watched your podcast yesterday, the new one.
Yes.
Just to make sure I know,
we
do
get
my
it.
homework. Other view. But you were talking about TikTok and about the hooks that work. What if da 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 da.
Yes.
And it's that hooky thing, which is exactly the same mentality on ad copy for Facebook, but super condensed.
Yes.
So you're in the right headspace, and if you can transfer that over to Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep going. So I've recently set up some ads and they're actually doing quite well, but I forgot the second step. So I was testing a whole lot of images and I was putting like all different primary text and yay. And now I know which one's doing well and I've just left it, but I forgot now I'm supposed to set up individual ads with different primary to see which text is working. I'm just letting it go because it's doing well and I'm like, woo!
Well,
but
I wouldn't don't touch anything.
Yes, if it's working.
Yes.
But set up new ones with individual
Duplicate.
primary text to see what's doing better.
Yeah, duplicate and give it a spin.
Just do one.
What I found interesting too is the common advice now is to have that ad unambiguous, right? Because you're targeting broad. So you want your creative to be unambiguous. So I thought that those had a better chance of succeeding. So an example of an unambiguous strap would be the best urban fantasy you'll read this year. You're saying it's urban fantasy, you're saying read, so it's a book. And then your visual will also say urban fantasy, right? That is what I've been taught is the most successful when it comes to Facebook ads. But we completely proved that wrong, didn't we, Caroline?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people are a little bit jaded towards those really unambiguous strap lines. And, if it's a good book, you've got great readers who are intelligent and understand the nuance of like tongue in cheek and those kind of things. And actually something creative can really kind of give a little punch to an ad. Saying that, review still does really, really, really well.
Yes.
But I think something that feels a little less constructed. I mean, the unambiguous apps that sometimes they do work. I mean, this is why we test. I do all three because you don't want to miss the opportunity of an unambiguous one working. But alternatively, it doesn't surprise me that they don't, because I found that the creative ones and the more complex review ones, are usually, they still have to have those elements of identifying the genre, identifying it, But what was really interesting so the process of doing an ad campaign for me is that I'll do a whole bunch of images, usually about 7 for a client, and then I'll sit with the client and we'll talk about straps and we'll talk about this now that, and we'll talk about the images. We went through all the images and were saying which ones we thought would work quite well, and then we got to the one that has flown, and both me and JT were worried that it was a little bit paranormal. And
and I know the image you're talking about because I've seen it in her ad library.
I don't know if you could pop it up somehow.
Yeah, at least just pop it up so that the people can see.
Yes.
And for the people listening, it's basically a woman with long dark hair splayed out on her pillow. She's in a hospital. She's got these crazy kind of paranormal eyes. There are a few medical people around her and she's got like magic coming all off her, like sparkling and stuff. Yeah. And then the line is her heart was flatlining, but her magic wasn't. Is that right, Caroline?
that was
Yes.
creative strat.
So
But
yeah, when we saw that image, we were like, it's a bit paranormal. I
Yeah.
think we're getting away with it because Cursebreak, there is some paranormal stuff in
But also the word magic
Cursebreak.
might be giving you some grace there,
Well,
because when the
Yes.
magic,
Yeah.
you think, okay, it's magic, it's not like otherworldly, you know?
absolutely. And this is the conversation we were having. I was saying, well, we can pull it away from the paranormal by, the
Yes.
strap will hopefully save the day,
Okay.
but also color. So like if you put on sparkles that are slightly blue or electric or purple, paranormal romance or paranormal purple.
Okay.
Because we
Okay.
went warmer gold, slightly green
Okay.
tones,
Yeah.
Urban
so that
fantasy.
if we had been really kind of cutthroat at that point, might have not even run it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
this is the entire point about testing and a whole swathe of different things. I mean, the images that I've put up cover, I was trying lots of different things. I was going for more of a Terry Pratchett thing, and then the more paranormally thing, and then storytelling, and then, things that I know have worked traditionally, and just to get a kind of feel. And what was really cool was that it was the ones that were really storytelling that nailed, some of the other ones that were more pretty, they still
Yes.
well. I'm just I just don't want it to perform well. I want it to perform excellently. So
do you have multiple winning images that you continue to run? So you won't only keep one winning image, you'll keep anything that's doing well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also you get little kind of senses that Amazon is lying. So like if you see book sales but no reads, that to me says that the ad is doing well. But for some reason we're not seeing the reads come through.
Okay.
So I would tend to give those a little bit more elbow room, and that definitely has paid off with one of the images.
Yes.
Okay.
But also, like, I mean, we're talking about HC, and I hate to burst the HC bubble, but like I've seen the performance go off of it in the last few days, and
Okay.
it doesn't worry me too much. There are ways that we can kind of stimulate it, but because I've still got the H review still running and stuff like that,
Yes.
I can sort of bring stuff up, pull stuff down, and this is where tuning comes in. So like if you see a consistent few days of drop, I would actually reduce the ad spend on that ad by the similar notion of like 10-15%. And if you see an ad doing this, I would increase. So you've now got a really good sort of hand of cards, and it is really dangerous to turn everything off and just have two running. You need to keep an eye on things, and also even things I've turned off, I will keep an eye on, because there again, all of a sudden you see loads of reads, and then maybe you turn it back on but at a reduced rate, and just see you're literally nursing
yes,
this little
because
fan.
like you said in that last episode, it could be that you've got someone who's sitting on the toilet at the right time, and on the ad, or you've got something where particularly when you're starting with the smaller ad spends. I mean, for someone like me, the ad might look like it's doing really badly, but actually it could be a perfect ad. It just hasn't been given enough of a shot. And have you ever had an image that you felt very strongly would work and it didn't, and then you tested it again and it did? Have you ever had that, or do you, once you discount an image, is it gone?
No, I mean, the thing is, to hold all of this stuff in my head would be almost impossible if I looked backwards too much. Once you've made a decision, it's a good decision. You should stick by it. But saying that, what's really useful when we're going into other marketplaces, it's HC and MC are the two ones that are just consistently doing their thing. The other image is more world building, when there's an orc and there's a kidnap and there's a this, that, and the other. And surprisingly, it's doing the best in Germany. So the consistency is there, but definitely with language, like it's very in your face, that other image with the orc, and I think it appeals to that German mentality of complete honesty, getting to the point very quickly, or maybe it just appeals, but ultimately that both HC and that one are doing really well, but they've swapped who's doing the best.
And are you just translating your same strapline into German and then putting that on top?
Yes, Google Chat is my friend. Well, I have a lovely spreadsheet that my daughter set up for me, and she does all the languages, and I can just
pull from there.
Yeah,
I did that the other day, and I accidentally took French copy and put it on my Italian ad.
It's
why would I not? So easy to do. JT said it's not, but I disagree.
Well, when you're dealing with tons of marketplaces as well, I mean, it's so easy to do. You do everything right, but then in attribution, you set it in the wrong marketplace, or honestly, everybody does it. And then, this is why I do try and get systematic to reduce the chance of that. But the reality is, we're all human. It happens.
I also think you shouldn't do too much in one day, because it gets, Caroline said the other day, she's feeling a bit cross-eyed, and exactly. When I do attribution things, I have to just do a few and then walk away, because otherwise I'm like,
yeah, it's too much for the brain.
It's not difficult, but it's technical. You have to do this, and you have to be so methodical. Otherwise, you just mess it up.
I don't mind doing them in batches. I can do about 20-ish in about an hour. But, that is a time stealer. And
that's a lot, though. I don't think I could do 20 in an hour. It takes me so long. I do find I get quicker the more I do it, but I'm still I have a long way to go before I can just whip them up. I saw a post the other day in 50 Books. I think it was Craig Martell saying, if you're spending more than 3 minutes on your ads or so, and I was like, I don't know what
just setting up
he has for breakfast. no, he was saying in setting up an ad or checking your ads or something. I just remember thinking 3 minutes.
He obviously doesn't have 5 billion translations. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, that's I mean, the advice is great, but I was thinking I wouldn't be able to get it done in that amount of time."
But if he's only running 3 ads,
true story.
Check the income, check the attribution. Okay, done.
While we are on the topic, JT, of foreign market.
Oh, well done, Delport.
I know.
Time to hear a word from our sponsors. Guys, we're just going to take a quick break to talk about Scribe Shadow. Scribe Shadow is the perfect partner for indie authors who don't want to leave money on the table. They use cutting-edge AI to make novel translation fast, affordable, and super easy. In just minutes, your book can be translated into over 19 languages with high-quality results ready to reach readers everywhere.
The best thing about Scribe Shadow is that it isn't some faceless giant. It is a small family-run team, husband and wife, who we've had on the pod before. They have indie roots. They've been in the trenches. They know the author hustle. The best part is the app is a practical, budget-friendly, and super easy-to-use interface that even authors who are not tech-savvy like myself can use. You keep your full rights to your work, and your books are never, ever used to train AI.
On a more personal note, Delport, we love Scribe Shadow, don't we? We spoke about it in our very first episode when I used to call it Shadow Scribe. And have since translated our books into lots of different languages. We now have readers in Italy and France and Germany, and it's just been incredible for both of us.
Yes, it's no secret, I think, to anyone who watches the pod that translations changed the landscape of my entire career, and I would not have been able to do it without them. So I am, Scribe Shadow all the way for me.
Yes, me too. Guys, Scribe Shadow has been so kind, and they gave us a discount code for our listeners. You get 30% off your credit purchase.
The coupon code is Pen and Prosper 30. That is PENAND, Prosper. And you use it on checkout to take your 30% discount. And there's no obligation, but it does help us. It doesn't cost you anything. It actually gives you money off, and it supports the pod. So we would be so grateful if you were thinking of signing up for Scribe Shadow, which we obviously recommend, that you might use our coupon code.
So we've got some questions on our YouTube channel for Caroline. Let's start at the top. This is the first comment and question. I love that you're going to show your columns next week. So we'll do that with Caroline now, but also shows us exactly which metrics are important. I did wonder though whether she considers unique clicks or just general, because I've been told in the past to only consider unique. I especially enjoy that Delport is starting with a lower budget and learning as we go, because I feel like she and I are exactly at the same spot in our careers, and she keeps what could be a daunting list of to-dos real by showing that she too is struggling to juggle all the things while learning from JT. We all went to single white female in a professional, non-bunny killing way. I love that.
Oh, there's bunny killing. Don't you worry.
You stay away from my bunnies, Delport.
That is a really, really good question about unique link clicks and clicks. And there is no straight answer, apart from I tend to focus more on the link clicks. But if you have an ad that has a very low CPC and a massive impression rate, then your CTR link click-through could be quite low. But the clicks as a volume can be quite a lot. So, on a brilliant ad, it's a low CPC, a high click-through rate, and billions of impressions. It very rarely works out exactly like that. Usually you have, a better click-through link rate or a better CPC, and I had conversations again with JT about what we want is that CTR with that CPC. And then, you know, you have to kind of look at each ad and look at its merits. And if it's getting massive reach, loads of clicks, but its CTR is low, that would be the point that I'd be looking at attribution and just making sure that it's getting reads and sales. And actually, that's more important. I mean, I've had ads with a CTR of 3, 4 doing incredibly well on attribution.
Yeah, I never really looked at CTR as a very important metric before now, because to me, it's always goes back to attribution and ROI. Like, I don't care what the CTR is if it's making profit.
Absolutely, absolutely. But obviously, if something is super cheap and getting the results that you want, you're also getting brand building. And that's something that we don't talk about enough. And even if your ads, you know, like out of 7, we're now concentrating on, I mean, images, out of 7 images, we're only really concentrating on 5. And out of ads, we're only concentrating on, in total, maybe 10 different variations. I mean, a lot of those things that don't perform well but get tons of reach, when people see loads and loads of images of a book and then they see a different ad of the same book, and it's creating confidence in the readership. So sometimes it's doing a function. And like, this is why on Instagram, if you get a really high performing ad on Instagram, I will, even if I'm not really seeing much attribution, I tend to let it run, because there is a disconnect as well with metadata, with the way people use Instagram. You don't always see the reads and the sales and all the rest of it. But that brand building is really important. People start knowing JT Lawrence, they keep hearing seeing the same sponsor.
Yes. And you see that again on TikTok. If I see a book, I will think nothing of it, but then I see another video and I see another bit, and you just keep seeing, and all of a sudden you're like, I feel like I'm missing out. I got FOMO now, because why is everyone talking? So it's a similar sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I wanted to ask Caroline, because I know that you originally, I can't remember the number, but I know that in your US ads, you didn't want to have an ad running that had less than click through of 8 or whatever it was. And I've always known, like, the foreign markets, it's much lower. So have you had to adjust like your expectation in your foreign ads now?
Well, I mean, when we talk about that initial, you know, the CTR rate and all the rest of it, I'm talking in the first sort of 3 or 4 days. That's when you really get a sense of whether an ad is doing well. They tend to settle lower. So if you've got an ad of 14, it will settle at 9. If you've got an ad of 9, it will settle at 6 or 5. You know, that's a hard ask to, I mean, we do get some ads that stay up there, but there again, this is what JT was saying, it's actually not that important what the CTR is doing. But as an initial, but I mean, we've only been running the foreign ads since, like, well, some of them only since yesterday. So I'll get back to you.
And I keep checking the attribution dates. I'm like, come on, Italy.
I know, it's that lag. It's so annoying.
I don't know, we sold 3 books in France. Did you see that?
I saw that. I couldn't believe it. And you know, those French clicks are like 2 cents. So long may it continue.
Yeah. So it's what's exciting as well, like seeing the German CTRs and this, that, and the other. They are great. Spain, not so great. Italy, not as good as Germany. But I mean, you know, I'm just getting picky. And then looking at the difference between the US and the UK.
Yes.
The UK is so underperforming compared to the US. I don't know why that is. Could be all sorts of different things going on. It doesn't mean to say that I'm going to give up the ghost on it. It's just trying to understand what's going on and why.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Because usually you'd expect the US and the UK ads to do similarly in conversion, right? But that hasn't been the case at all.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then again, I have to remind myself, in the UK, we're running, I think, about $60. No, what were we, $40? No, it's a lot less than the US, and we're getting 3,000 reads a day, and we've only been running it a week. So I think I'm being a little bit overly eager. So when you compare 2 things, and it wouldn't surprise me if the UK starts doing this, because it's been a week.
Yeah. I mean, usually we don't even
been very long.
We don't even have attribution data. It takes ages for that attribution data to come in properly and
to populate. It really does take a long time. It's so frustrating. And like you say, you what was the word you used? You don't want a knee jerk, because you switch off an ad and then 2 days later it updates, and you go, I've made a
Exactly.
mistake.
Yeah,
And it's not to
absolutely.
say if you turn it back on, it's going to pick up where it left
Yeah.
off.
If you have switched something off for a couple of days, just switch back on. Not going to make a massive dent to what's going on with it.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't
So
think.
that would be your best advice is if the
Yeah.
data comes in late and you've had the ad switched off for 2 or 3 days, just turn it back on and let it run.
If it completely
Okay.
tanks, reissue it and
Yeah,
move
it
on.
might go, it
Okay.
might take it back into the relearning phase, but I don't really find that with
Okay.
mine that I switch off. It usually just
No.
carries on.
Okay.
What I
Okay.
wanted to say
Got you.
there is what I like about feeding Grok all my data is that he will pick up if there's an ad that we are now ignoring because we think it's rubbish, because he still sees if that attribution data comes in, he'll pick it up and he'll show, okay, this ad's like it's turned and now it's got a nice green ROI. Whereas I wouldn't even be looking at that ad anymore because in my head it's dead.
Yeah.
It's dead, yes.
That's a good point. And then sometimes what I feel or can see on what I analyze isn't quite the same as what's going on with Grok.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm taking into account some other stuff, which is engagement shares and this, that, and the other, which I think would be a really useful thing when we go onto the Meta dashboard to sort of talk people through. Because all the information is there. It's just a question. You've just got to go and look at it.
Yes.
So yeah, and like I said, all these platforms, they lie.
They do. They do.
So you have to kind of get in under the bonnet and really have a look.
Okay, so I have one last question on YouTube and then we can go to screen sharing. It's a wonderful show today and I can't wait for the next one with Carol, hopefully next week. I have multiple questions. Okay, so there are literally multiple questions here. So let's start with the main setup. Did Caroline really mean that each of the 15 variants are in their own campaign? Or is it one campaign with 15 ad sets? If it's the 15 ad sets within one campaign, is it advantage budget or does each ad set have its own budget of $5? So I think the easy way to answer that is exactly how you did, Caroline. It's like, yes.
Yes. I mean, I do set everything up campaign. It is more efficient to do a campaign and then 15 ad sets because you can still isolate the budget.
Yes.
And I would always cap a budget individually for an ad set. But the reason why I don't do that is because for us to be able to strip certain levels of data, which I have no idea how we do it, that's all down to Jamie Brooks, my husband. We need
I need a Jamie.
I know.
Let me have a Murray.
we need a clear lane of data, and when you download a CSV file, which is what we do when we crunch data, if you have this in an ad set format, it is not easy for him to then do something with. So yes, it is only a tiny bit more labor intensive. It's just on a different level of duplicating. You're duplicating at campaign level when you're doing 21 ads. I would set one up how I like it with the copy and the headlines, and then I duplicate it the amount of times that I want, and then I change the URL and I change the name and I change the image.
Yeah.
That's how I increase my workflow.
Yeah.
But you would do the same at ad set level.
Yes.
It's not a massive, step up of work.
It does make the dashboard very busy, but I would rather have a busy dashboard and be able to see everything at a glance.
Clearly, yes.
And look at ad set, click in and look at ad set.
Yeah.
Whereas now I go to the filter thing and I type in CB, which is code for Caroline's Curse Breaker ads, and all of Caroline's ads come up, and I can just see at a glance what's going on. It's really helpful.
Yeah, and then you can isolate. You can do another layer of isolation and just US.
Yeah.
And then you've just got the 20 that you want, or US Insta.
Yeah.
And then you just see the Instagram ones or the So actually, I mean, it will scare people when we can have a look in a minute. But actually, if you know your way around your dashboard, it's very easy to kind of be very concise and analyze things.
Especially if you have such a good naming convention like Caroline has. Makes it very easy.
Yes, I started using it. Well, it's slightly different because I have this OCD thing that I have to know the date I set the ad up. I don't know why, but I'm like, I need to know the date.
We all have our things.
So I know whether it's like a 10-day-old ad or a 2-day-old
ad. Little helpful hint. If you look at, there's 3 little dots on the right-hand side. One of those is history.
And then it will tell me there.
If you tap on there, it tells you every change you've done.
Okay.
It's a great little button, but it will also tell you when you set your ad up.
When I set it up. Okay, so I don't need it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just feel like I need but I've definitely, they're much, much shorter than like I'm looking at one now, like test box set 24 May 25 US female targeted, like it's like these long things.
Oh no.
Oh, I have one more question. Do you do female broad or do you do broad? Broad. So males, females. Okay.
Absolutely. And actually one of our ads that we've done, which is very Terry Pratchett-esque, I would say that the split of engagement is 50-50.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
I'm not saying that they will convert, because JT's covers are quite female centric, but it is definite food for thought if she does at some point a rebrand in the future where her covers are more object centric and less gender specific, then that might work brilliantly. So that's stored away in my head thinking.
And if you were doing her billionaire romance, would you go female broad? So if it was romance or very specific to, or would you still go broad?
I would still tend to go broad initially for the, you know,
and
Meta is very, very good at figuring this stuff out. You know, I've worked with people who literally are doing women's fiction. So it's completely women, and sometimes they've gone women, but sometimes they've just gone broad. And you know, when you look at the charts, you know, within a day, it's all female. So yeah, you can. I don't think
let it figure it out.
Difference, but I think
I almost feel like Meta is so desperate for you to let it make some decisions. It's like a child. It's like a child wanting a bit more freedom. You know, Mom, can I go and play in it? You know, that maybe if you give it a little bit more of a job to do, it will perform better.
Maybe that's an interesting thing. Test.
Yeah.
Okay. But, I mean,
all right, let's see.
Yeah, JT's books are so. I think that the adventure part is actually huge, and the potential for that crossover into, for the moment, totally get why it's more female. There is so much potential.
Yes.
But it's
also good that you have JT, because people don't know that you're a woman, because men are notoriously famous for not wanting to read books written by women.
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
So I think it works in your favor. And Jim Butcher's one of your comparables. So
yeah.
Okay.
Next part of the question. I'd also love more instruction on using the CTR to make decisions. Is it unique, outbound, or all clicks? So we covered that in the previous question.
Yep.
Like Melissa, I'm having a hard time with countries with no attribution data. Is there any other metric to figure out which ads are working, or
Every
is the
country
answer to only run one?
We've got them now, because Carol gave us that golden
got them.
nugget. So
Yes.
hopefully by now she's actually figured out that we can get that attribution
you
data.
can
We
get
did it in a few episodes ago. Yeah,
if you can sell a book.
It was that
on
copy. I think Jamie said it was that copy it into a new. There's a trick.
There's a trick. So for the person who asked the question, likes to read, you go to your AMS dashboard, you go to attribution, and then at the top left, there's a menu of countries.
Yep.
You can choose which menu of countries and set up the attribution links there.
Yeah.
What doesn't work is if you're in your US dashboard and you try and set UK attribution links, which is what I used to do, thinking that it would work because my UK ads come up on that dashboard. So I thought you could also do the attribution there. You can't. You have to go and choose it from the menu. But it's not as simple as that for some people, because I don't know how it works for you, Caroline. When we do it, we go and we select, let's say we select Italy, then it refreshes and then it's the Italian attribution page. We have to copy and paste the URL into a new tab in order to make it work. We don't know why.
Yeah, absolutely. So it makes total sense when you kind of say it out loud, but you need to go to, say you're doing Spain, you need to open in a different window Amazon Espanol, and it will flag up, you're in the wrong marketplace, blah, 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 and you go explore.
So that's where you cut and paste it.
Yeah, and then the URL at the top is really long.
Yeah.
You want to just copy it from the end of the ASIN for the book and for the specific edition. So, find the Kindle version and then copy from the ASIN all the way back to the HTTP. What's quite interesting is then you can set your attribution ads up just like normal. When you preview your URL, once you set up your advert on Meta, it will be seamless and you will be able to see the Spanish Kindle price. And whereas when you're doing it from the UK, you can't even see what the price is, but it does work. I promise it does work.
Okay. So that's really handy for a lot of people, because we couldn't get it right at Delport. We tried and tried.
Yeah. But I got it right. It's a game changer, the foreign attribution data. Like, I feel so much more confident now to increase budget. I say that as if I'm spending, that extra $1 a day. I feel so much more confident. I'm like, take my $1.
Yeah.
Because I can see that, that ad is doing well. It's
it also helps me. It does. And what also helps me is that calculation we use when you times attributed sales by 2 or 2.5.
Yes.
Our times reads by 5. And it just gives you bigger
peace of mind,
picture and peace of mind. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, when you're a smaller volume author, you should be able to see live physical book sales and stuff. But when you get into the bigger echelons of, volume, then, there are ways by looking at the data and just making sure that you have a clean landscape, or horrifying way of doing it is switching everything off. I don't do that.
Yeah, don't.
But we
yeah.
we've
Sorry.
kind of sussed out that it's a conservative 5 times for the authors that
Yes.
we work with, but then the authors we work with are high volume authors. So
JT told me that you were putting all the product links. So she said, put all your product links, not just the series that you're driving traffic to. And I saw a box set of The Traveller sold through a Guardian's ad.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never would have known
You would
that
never
that
know.
box set, a different box set of mine sold through that. I never would have known that. And it's such a little tip that can be a game changer.
yeah. And I think as well for
So that was
workflow, if you've got lots of different countries, I mean, JT's got like 508 titles. If I was to sit there and try and weed out the right ones,
for a week,
I would be there forever. So I just literally, there's a little tab at the top where it says add all on this page, and you just flick through all the pages and add them all. And so you can increase your work, your speed of setting up an attribution link. But also, I would say a good 50% of a good working ad will be other products, so that you're not targeting. And
wow.
A lot of the authors that me and Jamie have supported have been do standalone thrillers. And so there is, a little bit, you don't get that lovely read through and you don't get that natural progression. And it is a little bit terrifying. But the reason why we got really hot on the whole product thing was because we'd advertise a book and then we could see that actually it was stimulating product sales and product reads on other standalone.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do that for you guys, you've got, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a series and a box set and a this and a that. It's just phenomenal. And that's why I'm seeing such bigger results, really.
We've even seen pre-orders for my new urban fantasy book that I haven't finished writing yet. We've seen those attributed on Caroline's Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's really, put everything on. Don't
don't turn everything off.
Even if they're different genre, just put everything on.
Okay,
we're still busy with this question. Let's see. I'm also very interested in some guidelines for testing times. JT suggested 30 clicks. So just to let you guys know where that came from, that was a Nicholas Eric. Is his name Nicholas Eric or is Eric Nicholson? He's a Facebook ads guru. He does very well. He says 30 clicks is fine for the US and 20 clicks is fine for other marketplaces. And that's what I was working off a few months ago. So that's old information now. And she says, is that enough data to make a decision? So Caroline, you can answer that. No.
The reason why I tend not to do it on clicks is because that might take you 2 weeks. If it's a rubbish ad, it might take you 2 days if it's an all whitish ad. But, really there's an energy to an ad, there's a CPC to an ad, there's all sorts of things that you want to take into account. If you wait around, you're still capping your budget, but it's just, I would tend to just go on budget rather than clicks.
Okay, so then how much budget would you recommend? Someone like Delport or this person?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go under $3.
Yeah, 5 you said is good. 5 is a good start.
I like 5 because it's easy to do the math.
Yes.
And
for how many days?
I would have a look at things healthily at 7 days, and you'll definitely see some that are just not performing at all.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm seeing that. And I had to wait 7 days. I had to wait 7 days because then other things, the data started coming through, because the first 2 or 3 days it looked like nothing was happening. But I was seeing the sales go up and I was like, what's going on? But now you don't know which ad is coming from.
Absolutely.
I was like, dang it.
Also, I don't think, even at 7 days, look at it. You don't have to do anything to it. I mean, I definitely got rid of absolute flatliners. But if you've done a good campaign, in theory, there shouldn't be much difference between one or the other. And we see this with JT's ads, is that, there's like 3 that really kind of pop out. But then there's some sort of dark horses that are all pretty similar. And they're the ones that you don't want to be too quick to turn off, because they're the ones that very often have longevity.
Okay.
So I would say look at things at 7 days, turn off anything that's flatlining, look again at 10 days, start to make some hard decisions. And then don't be too quick to turn things, if you've got 3 ads that have just different copy on them, that they're all the same image, don't be too hot, especially if one of them is popping off, to switch the others off.
Because in theory that image should work, because you've tested that image is good.
Is working,
and like you say, your creative overtook your review after a couple of days. Okay.
Yeah, it was literally about 10 days. HC just went, But before that,
Okay.
HR was winning. So now HR is nowhere.
Yeah.
HR and HC and HR. Ugh,
Well,
HR. I never trusted them.
actually, if I show people the dashboard, I can show them the images, the ones that are working.
I can't remember what JT called it, but towards the end of the episode, she said she'd been turning ads off some days during these slumping times.
Cat strat.
How often would you recommend doing that? I do it once a week. I do it on a Thursday because I identified that as my lowest sales day. I'm still doing it. It's still good for my ROI, and I would recommend it if you think that your ads are kind of stable. You don't think switching them off will kick them back into learning phase or anything like that. And in fact, I wouldn't do the strategy unless you're spending a lot of money and you really need a break every now and then just to get your ROI, just to like tick up your ROI.
Yeah.
And then the last question, finally, I would love to hear what Caroline does once she IDs the winning ads from the block of 15 tests and how she scales them up.
Right. So from 15, we might end up with, I don't know, 5 really, really good ones. But I'm still keeping an eye on the ones that I have turned off. As far as scaling is concerned, very gently, 10 to 15%, which is less of an issue when there's a low cost. But as you start...
How often? 10, 15% every day,
every 2-3 days.
Got you.
But if it's something I'm really care about, I might just be, maybe even more conservative. But as I said, keep an eye at the attribution level, because if you start seeing things dip off, it could be that you've pushed it just a little bit too far. So in that situation, I have reawaken ads by knocking it back by more than 10%, and it just kind of goes, I'm doing great again. And then it starts to pick up again, and CTRs and stuff like that start to improve, and CPC comes
So
down
you
again.
bring it down. You're saying if it has gone over, you bring it down and make it think about what it's done. And
you tell it off.
Yeah.
But if things are going nice and how you expect, textbook, and you're adding 10% every 2 or 3 days, you're at some point it will cap out. At some point it won't want any more money put on it, and at that point is when you either pull back a little bit and just see if it's just a blip, or I would tend to... There's a couple of ways of scaling. It's sideways scaling, which is just to duplicate an ad, existing everything, duplicate it, and then you basically doubled what's going on.
You call that a reissue? No,
that's duplication.
Okay.
So that is one way of scaling, because you've got to say $20 and you duplicate it. So all its information, all of its metadata, all of its learning is the same.
Okay.
Everything is the same. Okay. Its performance should just carry on. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one way of scaling, but that's quite aggressive. Another way of scaling is adding the 10 to 15%. Another way is reissue and keep that one popping along. Reissue, don't turn the original one off yet. Reissue and do exactly what you've done before, and then...
So do you reissue at a lower budget and then start again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because actually sometimes reissuing can invigorate something that you don't even know why. So there is a little bit of magic that goes on, and it's just literally like catching the wind, if you're a sailor.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, what is the difference between a duplicate ad and a reissued ad?
A reissued
what is that
ad
the key?
Is starting from scratch. So when you duplicate, it gives you the
option. So you don't duplicate, you set up a brand new ad the same?
Yeah. Well, I'd probably copy it. I duplicate it, drop the back down to $5, and then it's going to have to learn again, because you've
and a new attribution link.
New attribution link every time. Every time.
Okay.
Even if you are duplicating, if you are reissuing, don't be tempted to just use the same attribution links if you still have something running. And especially over time as well. If you turn something off that you're 2-3 weeks down the line, don't reuse it, because sometimes you get this organic, like we got a sale the other day. The ad had been turned off for 3 days. How did that happen?
Okay.
It's because there is when somebody shares an ad on Facebook or saves an ad, it's now out of your hands. It's not part of the spend. So if somebody has saved it or whatever, it can happen further down the line. If enough people do that, that can influence whether an ad will be working or not. So yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
That was as clear as mud, wasn't it?
No. I mean, it's
it makes sense.
I'm going
to watch it back.
So there's 3 different ways how to scale an ad, which is very
Yes.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a reissue and a duplicate, it is a very similar thing. It's
Yeah.
very similar, which is why I was getting a bit confused, because I did a couple of reissues and they didn't work. So I was like, oh, but maybe I should just try duplicate at that same ad, like identical, just duplicate and
Yeah,
see
that
what
would
that
be
does.
when your ad is flying absolutely high. That would be the point
Yes.
to do that. If your ad
Okay.
is tailing off, I would
Yes.
reissue, start from scratch with all the same copy, all the same everything. And actually, you can streamline it. We've done this for the European ads. So we identified that actually some of the copy, the main text, was JT's blurb, just was not converting. The first chapter and the reviews were massively converting. So when I reissued some with slight variations, I just didn't bother putting the blurb in. And then that allows Meta to get there quicker. It's not having
Okay.
to
Yes,
step
because
out.
you eliminate the process of elimination of what doesn't work.
Makes things more
Okay.
streamlined. So that could
Okay.
be a reason why the German ads, the French ads are actually doing better than the
Okay.
English ad.
Yeah. Caroline, what are your plans to scale up our winning ad?
Well, I'm just adding budget at the moment. It's still incredibly early days. Like I said, I've noticed HT has dropped off and I'm a little concerned about that. I might reissue it. I don't know.
You haven't decided yet. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're day 16, 15, something like that for the US. It's 2 weeks in, essentially. I would like to see this campaign, this push last for 12 weeks at least. It's a lot of tweaking.
Yeah.
So I can't really say about HT at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
We have kind of reissued it anyway because we did a variation on a strap.
Yes, that's true.
And that's doing really well. We've got safety nets all over the place. So I'm not too worried. It could be a flash in the pan.
Yeah, let's hope it's not.
I'm not going to tell you.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not. That's frustrating though, when you've had an ad doing so well for a long enough time that you would think, okay, we're out of the testing, like everything is now happening, and now it's like, what? What do you mean?
But it's like, I don't know if you noticed a week ago that we had Prime deals going on.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there was a change
terrible
in reads or sales, but there was a break in data that was going through to attribution. So when you look at the attribution, you get this and then this, and then it. That line, it would have been seamless. But at that point, you're looking at CTRs and stuff, and you go, and feeling really miserable because attribution is clocked out. So I don't panic.
Okay.
I'm not a panicker.
That makes one of us. Makes one of us who doesn't panic.
Good. Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to stop so JT can write. That's the whole point. So she can do something more meaningful.
Okay, so we quickly look at a screen.
So yeah, these are all of the ads that I've set. If I was to uncampaign this, JT, although she did turn loads of stuff off yesterday, as you can see, there's all sorts of historical stuff on here. But if you put in this little box, part of the titles, part of the strapping that we've added, it's a way of sort of weeding down how you can actually interpret.
Yes.
You've done US, you need to do CB now.
Oh yeah, like I know what I'm doing.
It's always weird when you screen share the
Okay. So as far as sort of really,
sure, that is a lot of ads.
It is a lot of ads, yeah. And you can order them by whether or not they're on or off. So that's a good way of kind of filtering things.
Okay, great. Yes.
All right, well, let's go for the winning ad. So this is our winning ad. You select on this, so we've isolated it. And then if you go to where it says performance and clicks, and I usually change it to engagement, and then we go breakdown. You have options of headline, text. If these don't come
wow. Okay.
If these don't come up as an option, just search for them. It's because I've used them a lot. We go to headline. Now you can see, so this is for yesterday. Let's do something more meaningful. So the last 28 days. We can now see at a glance which of these are the headlines. So
wow. Okay. I never knew how to see that. That's so cool.
Isn't that amazing?
But you can see now that this one, which was a creative one that I just tried out, really, really has been excellent. And you can see post reactions. Or that one particular one, post saves 10, which is amazing.
Yeah, so that's clearly doing the best.
That's a clear winner. So you can there again, maybe just stick to 2 when you reissue an ad, and it just makes the process a little bit more
Yes,
seamless.
so you're getting rid of the one that really isn't working.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
that's so cool. I didn't know how to find that because I've done the 3 different primary texts and then I'm like, okay, how do I know which one is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it only works when you are on Ad Creative. So if you've not done that as a part of the process of setting up the ads, you can't do this. So it is a definite bonus.
Okay.
Yes.
These are all the different text variations. Now, there's more than just the 3 that we set up. That's because Meta will also use the headline as a text variation. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it does. It's the reviews. The reviews have got it, absolutely. But then you can see that chapter 1, is appealing to some people. So there again, I got rid of the blurb as an option. We've streamlined the ads for other marketplaces.
So the 24 and the 40 would be like, oh no, 22, 24, 40, you're like, no.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay.
But Ad Creative will always try and they swap headline and text as a variation. I don't know why they bother, to be honest, but they do. So sometimes you can see that. So that is a really good way of really understanding what's really working on your actual individual ad.
That's yes. And I think also this is why you should leave them on for a while, because this kind of stuff can, from day to day, can differ. You want to get like quite a significant pull of data before you make that call.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the actual image, but you can see that these are, I'm only setting the ads as well in 3 places: search results for JT, feed, and Facebook
profile,
and search results. So there again, please set up your ads with manual placements. Don't let Meta
decide where to put it. And why the search? Why search? Is there any specific reason that you would?
Because if somebody searches up JT or the book, or
you want that to come up.
You want it to come up. Yeah. I mean, when you're looking for a particular group or something on Facebook, and you put in something and you go in the little search bar, we want that ad to pop up. If somebody's looking for JT or Curse Breaker, or Meta will pick up on that metadata that's in the copy of the text. So yeah, but I don't think it makes a massive amount of difference how many people are going to be actually searching. The whole point is that it won't
that it's there if they do.
money.
Yeah,
it won't be spending money. It's only if somebody is specifically looking for JT. Whereas when it puts it out on audience networks and all this gubbins, or the right hand column, I mean, nobody looks at that. So that's a waste of money. But that would be included as an impression, and then that will drop the CTR to nothing, reduce your CPC, which people might like the idea of, but if it's not performing, then pointless.
That's very
this is the first book I have read. That text there, I mean, that's significantly across the board with the post reactions, page engagement, post saves, everything. It's doing so well. Link clicks, sure.
And that's because of the social proof. These are punters, these are buyers who bought JT, and it's people will believe them more than they'll believe JT.
Do you know what I did with an ad now, with the review ad, is I actually, now that I've got enough Italian reviews, I've actually copied and pasted them as they are, because I figured they come across better than if I translate US reviews. And also the Italians can go and look, and they're actually on that page. And then I put a little Italian flag in front of each of them to make it very clear. And I think my top line said, Italian readers are loving this or something. So I was like, I was really letting them know, like, their own people, not just
love Italy.
I was like, Italy loves me. We got to just dive in. So I try to make it as authentic to that foreign market as I could.
That's great, Delport.
Yeah, well done. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Really good.
And that book now at JT, it's sitting at 444 total in store, Italy.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's so high in store. I mean, I know it's easier in the foreign markets, but I was like, ooh, it's that new ad. It's doing so well.
Fantastic.
Yeah. This is so helpful, because I didn't know on that ad which of those 3 primary texts is actually doing all the work. So as soon as we off this call, I'm going to fly into and be like, this is the one that's working. This is it.
Absolutely.
So, and then I'm going to set up, that has been mind-blowing. It's like, that is just like a game changer. You always give us this one golden nugget. That is like...
Well, I'm going to stop sharing then if this... No. I mean, as in the screen. I don't mean the information. I'm an open book, I promise.
So then would you then take an ad, say now you've looked at that and you've got that and you can see clearly which of the texts is working. Would you then set up an ad with that text? Now you know that the combination, or do you just leave it?
Never fiddle with a winning ad.
A working ad. Okay.
Do not change a thing.
Just leave it.
Because if you change a thing, if you change the ad, it's a different ad.
And it might not work.
You will lose your social proof. You'll lose. Don't mess with something.
Okay.
But for reissuing for a different country or whatever, so for like Germany and France and all those things, I just put 2 of the text options. I put the first chapter and then
so you'll still do options. You won't just do one.
I still do, because I think ultimately, especially in marketplaces that, I'm not French, I'm not German, I'm not Italian, different things appeal to different nations. People have a different culture, a different sensibility, and I wouldn't be as presumptuous or arrogant to think that I understand the psyche of these countries. So I'm testing. I'm just letting them be in control a little bit.
I think overall you've just shown me that we were quite meticulous. Hey, JT, everything had to be whereas I think you definitely leaving the door a little bit open for Meta, for the audience, for everyone else to play a role in whether it works or not. Whereas I was kind of it's got to have it perfect. Everything's got to be do.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the long game, so especially with a winning ad, you might be tempted to hoik it up to $20-30 and then turn everything else off and put all your money where your mouth is. That probably works in the short term, but in the long term, what you've just blown all that intelligence, all that hard work, all that, and then you're starting from scratch again. So if you keep things running at a low budget and they're ticking away and they're not losing money, they're not making money, it's no harm, no foul. And then you can bring other things on and you can retire things and you can, that's where that is data science. Data science is not backing a winning horse. It's thinking about what's going to work in 6 months' time, what can work in a year's time, what can work next week, and just
and now that you've got, say it's been 2 weeks, you've got your winning ads, say you've got 3 really good ads, you've switched everything else off, you are scaling those up. When are we starting a whole new bunch of ads to test? Because it's a process, right? You're not letting those die, and then so how long before you now go, okay, you know what, I need to find some more winning ads, so let me test again.
Meta will tell us, Meta will tell us. Meta will hit us with a big mallet and say these aren't performing as well,
working anymore. And then we start again.
But I wouldn't automatically go and then I would reissue. I would adjust budgets. I would, and I have seen this with one of the authors that I supported. We have had a bit of a bunny hop situation. I managed to, for 2 months they flew high, and then the last month I was literally bunny hopping it over the finish line because things would drop off. I'd adjust things, we'd get lift, so that's labor intensive. When you're talking high volume, it's okay, but I cost money, so my time is part of the equation of ROI, and all the rest of it. So maybe it would be different if you had a lower budget set, but then so I think that they would tell us. I would like ultimately eventually to maybe have 3 sets of winning ads in 9 months, that we can rotate. And then, you've had to spend certain amounts of money developing those images, those creatives. But then if we can then rotate them,
you've got a robust ecosystem.
You've got the best of the rest kind of thing. You've got this, but that takes time. And
if a winning image has fatigued and even a reissue isn't working, and that's not to say that in 6 months you don't try it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you slowly build up a library of really good images.
Yeah. And then, the winds change. I had a fantastic women's fictional authoress who, had this incredible winning ad, and her stories are kind of based on what would happen if a president died within his whilst he was president, what happened to her. And that was the images that we were using were fantastic. And until sadly the political climate changed, and that didn't work anymore because the image looked like certain high well-known figures and it killed the ad. So politics, life, season, there's so many influences that
makes sense.
What might work now doesn't work then. Summer ads work better if you're doing an ad for books that are set in a very sunny part of the world. Running them at winter or in autumn probably isn't the right time. There's so many different
books used to sell in Canada, now they don't because of the tariff.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So I shouldn't set up any Canadian ads because that was on my
You
list.
can, but Jamie said just to make sure to show that you are not an American author, because that's who Canada's not buying from American authors. So if you just show that you are not, then you should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Interesting.
I just
Okay.
think that it's economically, I don't think it's necessarily just them ignoring US authors. I just think economically things are very, very, very
Yeah.
difficult in that marketplace.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
Caroline, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Caroline.
I cannot actually wait to get off so that I can go and look at my
Look at your headlines.
go and look at me and see which one is doing all this wonderful work.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's a good little button.
Okay.
It took me ages to find it.
Yes. That I think is the problem though, and that is why these episodes I think do so well, is that there's so much, it's so complex, this whole Facebook ads, that every time we do an episode on it, there's something new, something we've never considered, something we didn't know. Like, it's constant learning.
Yeah, and you don't know what you don't know, right? So when you think, okay, and I've got this Facebook ads thing waxed, and then you meet Caroline and you're like, I knew nothing.
Yeah, but then you're teaching me a huge amount as well.
You say that, Caroline, but I don't think it's true.
No, it is.
Very kind of you.
Before we close off, we do want to say thank you to our official sponsor, Vellum, for coming on board. Anyone who has been watching for a while knows that Vellum is one of JT and mine's favorite softwares. We featured them in multiple episodes and in our top favorite software ever list. Thank you, Vellum.
Thanks, Caroline. You're awesome.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Caroline. I hope we see you soon.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Bye.